when you meet with the landlords, what you realize is kind of just what you said. There's a wide variance. And the landlords who are the good landlords, maybe put that in quotes, you know, the good landlords, they're the ones who are serious about their property, their business, they care about the quality, and they're fair to students. But those are the landlords that come to the meetings usually. Those are the ones who want to be part of the discussion, who want to be part of the solution to the problem. They don't want students disturbing the neighbors. They don't want students damaging their property. And then there are some, as you point out, who are putting minimal amounts of money into the properties. And you might say that those folks don't really care. But those are tough to identify and tough to get to the table and tough to deal with. So you combine everything from code enforcement to encouragement to the threat, which it is right now, of a disorderly house ordinance that would have some ability to hold landlords responsible as well.
Well, I think we should begin at, excuse me,
probably August 1st.
Yeah. When we first found out the move-in date was pushed back another 15 or 20 days, and then that date approached, and then it got pushed back another 15 days, and then we all showed up in Keene on, I think, maybe September 1st.
No? It was like the 27th.
Yeah, the very end of August.
Like the last weekend before school.
With all of our stuff ready to go.
And we had no home to go to and put our stuff in.
Really?
So we crashed around on couches and
slept in my car.
Yeah.
Slept on so many floors.
Yeah.
So we were homeless for the first 3 weeks of school. But, you know, do what you gotta do.
She didn't let us see it at first. She's like, you can go over and see it with Tracy, the guy who was going to build it. But then she said she'd give us a date that we could go see it, and she never did. We signed the lease anyways. I think it's because it was getting late, and we didn't want to go without housing.
She just made it sound so good, too. She made it sound like, how can we not sign this lease? You know, she was like, you know, I only rent to seniors, and I saved the spot for upperclassmen, and it's going to be so beautiful. So we were like, all right, well.
We had problems with our basement was leaking, the water in our basement was leaking, and they said that they would come by and fix it. And they actually had to tear a hole in the bathroom upstairs, in the floor, in part of the wall, and on the kitchen, behind the refrigerator, and in the ceiling to get to the pipes. And they said that they would be back the next day to completely fix the wall. It looked like nothing was there, and it took them about 3 weeks to come. And all they did was just nail a board to it.
And I've heard horror stories from students that, you know, the heat never works, or we had a geography major from 2 years ago who didn't have a front door. There was a door to the house, but it was broken up into different apartments. They didn't have a door to their apartments for several weeks, so they stacked furniture up in the door and went in and out the window.
We have a lot of maintenance requests that we've put in through the secretary, but they haven't come back to, like, take care of them. We go to the secretary and tell her, and she says, yeah, okay, I'll tell them, but she never, like, writes them down, so we never feel like she really is taking care of them.
They're not big things that are like we're gonna die or anything if it's not taken care of, but they're little things like the ceiling bathroom light is kind of falling out. There's a hole, like looks like someone punched a door, which we just covered up with a calendar, and some things from the radiator like just next to it, and we can't put them back on ourselves. So they're not like huge things, but it would be nice if they were done.
And we let them know, like, right when we moved in, because we didn't want to get charged for them. So they know about them, but they haven't taken the time to take care of them, so we can, like, cross them off our to-do list.
So our stove broke at the end of last year, and it was my roommate's fault, so he paid for it. And they replaced it with a used stove, which was already broken, and now we're being fined $300 because he's saying that we broke it. Even though we told him the first week of school, as they were putting up the fence in our backyard, that it was faulty and the oven wasn't working, we're still getting fined for it.
Yeah. She violated a lot of the terms of our lease. She, like, you know, our moving date was pushed back. We don't have some of the things that she promised us. Like, we don't have, like, a laundry facility. There's still, like, we don't have, there's small things. Like, we don't have blinds. We don't have, you know, just little things that she promised us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want the down payment as soon as possible. And
So
it's hard for us as 4 individuals to talk to our parents, get them to look at the lease, have them send it back, signed, with a check in 2 days.
They don't care about you. They
Yeah,
just
not
care
at
about
all.
getting their lease signed.
Yeah, they want the down payment as soon as possible. And
So-
it's hard for us as 4 individuals to talk to our parents, get them to look at the lease, have them send it back, signed, with a check in 2 days.
We pretty much jumped on the first thing that we all liked, and I think the location was a big key aspect of that. Even though it's overpriced, and compared to their other properties, we kind of had the short end of the stick with certain things that were involved within the house, like heating, and there was no washing machine, which every other house had, and we've had some problems recently actually with appliances.
Yeah, but basically it's like exhausting trying to fight for all the things that we signed up for, you know, and like we have a roof over our heads now, and it has heat and it has running water, so we're just gonna like just take whatever we have, you know. But it's still frustrating that we like went through all this work to find this really great place, and we pay like a certain amount of money every month, you know, and we're still getting things that we don't. I mean, we're still paying for things that we don't even have.
Because ultimately, you know, students are looking for a deal, you know, to pay as little as possible for housing. Who isn't? And some of them are okay compromising some degree of quality for the the freedom to you know, go into a place. So there's probably going to be still some absentee slum landlord who's, you know, offering, you know, a saltine cracker box, you know, for cheapy a month, and somebody's going to take it, you know, and they're just going to put up with that scenario. But they're going to be off campus. They won't have an RA. They can do whatever they want. You know, it's worth it. You know, as long as it's worth it to them, I guess that's fine.
So I think the students need to be empowered. I think they need to be made aware that there are certain code of standards that the landlords have to abide by, and that if they have a problem, they cannot be evicted if if the landlord is non-responsive, so that the student can call code enforcement. Code enforcement will force the landlord to fix the heat, to fix the door, to fix whatever, and the landlord has to provide a livable environment for the student. And if that's not being provided, then the landlord the upkeep needs to be made, and there's no retribution. So I think students need to be made aware of their rights. I think they just perhaps don't know who to turn to, or maybe there's a fear that the landlord will seek retribution, which is illegal and cannot be done. So.
I think you just have to know what your limits are for owning an amount of apartments, knowing that each apartment needs its own care and the tenants need their care, and I don't know, I think the companies need to know their limits, but if you're able to take on that much, then